Welcome to the Nerd BS podcast, where the BS stands for Bill Smith. For those of you who are friends with Bill Smith, we call him Bill, but it's actually Will Smith, short for William Smith. We're pretty good friends with him. We're talking about all his nerdy movies, which includes Independence Day, Aladdin, all the hits, of course. We're just 100% Bill Smith out on this podcast. So we're glad you're joining us today, but that's a lie. We're not talking about Bill Smith at all. It actually stands for Nerd Backstory because we love nerdy stuff here. My name is Kyle, and today, as always, we have Tomas.
Hey, what's up, everyone? And welcome to the channel.
And we have Alan.
Well, we're not talking about Bill Smith.
My
whole synopsis on the genie is being thrown away right now.
I can't watch that. I can't. I want to, but I can't because of the way it looks. So there's our synopsis on the genie.
Sorry, Will. Yeah, it was not good. I can't even say anything to redeem it. Honestly, I'm trying really hard to think of a redeeming factor.
Yeah, I can't even watch it. But we will be talking about nerdy things because we love nerdy stuff. We hit all the nerd pillars in life, which is movies, TV, video games, and tabletop games when they're available. Today, though, we will be ending the cast with a spoiler cast of The Falcon and Winter Soldier, which, as of this recording, is in episode 4, just came out last week, out of 6 episodes total. So we're going to be talking about it in depth, but we're saving it for the end. So when we get there, we'll give you a warning. If you haven't watched them, you just want to click out of here, get to the next episode. That's how we're going to do this. But we're really excited to talk about it. And so if you want to just go to that part, we'll tell you where it is in the notes. But if you also just want to say hi or, hear what we're doing throughout the week, where can somebody reach us, Alan?
Well, we have an email and a Twitter. And a Discord with a growing community, so you can check all those things out. I put all that information in the podcast description as well as the YouTube description. So if you're at either one of those places, you should be able to see our Twitter, which I will give right now, which is at @nerdbs_BS. That's the primary way. Just contact us somewhere, and I'll get you in our Discord, and we could talk about all the things that don't make it on the show. So I looked forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, you talking to you, baby.
Especially you over there.
Yeah, and man, I wish we were in person and I got to see you say that. But we're not.
They know
yet.
who they are.
Yeah, here's looking at you, kid. So the first nerd story this week is in movies, mostly movies. It's all 3 movies. We're just jumping right into it. And the first one is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, man.
I thought you guys were going to. Thought you might hop in.
I've been really pumped for this movie. I wasn't at first when I heard they were remaking. I was like, okay. I mean, I don't know, but I've seen the trailers now, and they redid the intro, which I don't know if it's better or worse, but I did play both of them back to back just to.
Dude,
just to get a splice.
It still just gets you pumped up, though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It does the job. I mean, it's definitely not. It's not as good as the original, but it does the job and it's good. And with this one, oh man, I can't wait for those fight scenes. It just looks intense.
I mean,
I don't care about the story.
Yeah,
I just want.
I have been waiting for an updated Mortal Kombat since I saw the first one. I want to see some updated visuals here, and I know I just usually go, oh, you don't need all that grotesque violence in a movie and stuff, but in this one you need it. You have to have it. So I want it.
That's what you better be expecting it. Yeah,
this is definitely one of the exceptions for that. I mean, it's designed for that, so it's acceptable. So I'm just excited for it. I'm going to be watching it day one.
There's nowhere else to go but up for the movie series, right? Because that second live action movie was atrocious.
To be frank, the first one wasn't even that good. It was okay, and that it was that soundtrack though, or that song was making it making it real
Yeah,
fun.
I did own that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Even for the time period, if you sit down and you watch that, and then you go and you watch, I don't know, even saying like Three Musketeers or something like that, the graphics and the stunts and everything is just so much
Three
better.
Musketeers?
Yeah, from the old Disney one.
Oh, that's
The
such a
old
random
one.
callback.
I know. I don't know why I thought of it. I was like, man, what's another movie where they're doing stuff like falling and that? But I don't know.
They're doing stuff. Yeah, the CGI on those movies, the Mortal Kombat movies, were
I mean,
terrible.
I really even feel like Dragonheart might have been better. Like,
It was, but it's that I watched that recently, and it's bad. It's bad now.
Yeah, I don't want to give Mortal Kombat the first one too much crap because at least it's watchable. It is a movie you can watch all the way through and enjoy. It's just not amazing, but the sequel just makes it look even better, though. So the sequel is just
Yeah, I remember I watched the sequel first before and so it actually got better for me because
yeah.
I went in order.
So then, so far, Kyle, this has just got nowhere but up for you. Is basically what
It's
I'm
only
hearing.
been a 15. No, it's been like a 20-year gap, but yeah, it can only get better.
None of you guys saw the show back in the day. They made a show of it.
I wish
No,
I did, but
I heard about it, but I never went and watched it. It's like on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I never have seen it
Yeah,
though,
it's on YouTube, I think.
but they have it on sites now.
it looks like garbage from what I've seen.
Yeah. The digital graphics budget isn't very high, and the costumes are okay. But I haven't watched it, so I don't know how the acting is or anything. But it never pulled me in. Not that big of a Mortal Kombat fan
Yeah.
That's funny.
to go that far. But I'm excited for this movie, and I'm excited to watch it. I love how it's just coming to HBO because I'm just going to watch it on the day of.
This might be the first one I see in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The old buddy of mine reached out to me. We might go see it.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
We'll
Well, you have
see.
to tell me how it is.
Yeah. Well, isn't this like they're like people are saying you have to watch this in theaters.
This one? I mean, like Godzilla vs. King Kong, yeah, for sure. That one I could see. Like, yeah, a theater experience would probably be way better.
And we remember how highly recommended Tenet came by Alan for in theaters. So
Yes.
yeah.
Oh no, I refuse to watch on anything but a Game Boy Advance. That's where I draw the line.
That's why you're looking for one of those.
Yeah, I'm looking for one right now. Good quality one with like I prefer one of the original Game Boy Advances that doesn't have the backlit screen because you want to make sure you get that real experience.
You want to get the overhead light with the magnifying glass attachment.
Exactly. You understand.
Yeah, I know the ways. That's the only way to watch cinema, really.
Of course.
And while the soundtrack plays on a vinyl record,
Behind you.
you gotta sync it up at the same time.
Of course.
Well, anyways, it sounds like we're all looking forward to just some stupid blood and gore and action in Mortal Kombat. Is it just called Mortal Kombat? There's no subtitle?
Yeah, it's just Mortal Kombat.
I kind of like their subtitles on the games and everything. I wish it had something, but
yeah, it got confusing though because the new ones like they stopped doing it and they just started just putting
Numbers,
a number at the end of it.
Eventually, yeah. Because no one knew what was happening.
Yeah, it was getting really. I was trying to find a Mortal Kombat recently, and I was having a struggle figuring out which one was when.
Yeah. What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
The other movie that we're all pretty excited about will probably be better in terms of story is the new Loki movie.
Well, it's a series.
It is a series.
Yeah, it's a series.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was a movie. I did not finish the trailer,
it's
obviously.
The next show. It's already been greenlit for season 2, which is nuts.
Well, and I didn't feel like WandaVision was gearing up for a second season.
I don't think they're getting one either, but I don't think it was set up for one. I don't know, but apparently Loki, though, I've specifically heard they're already saying there's going to be a second season.
And that what's his name? Tom Middleton, right?
Yeah.
The actor?
Yeah.
Super hot right now. That Hansel, he's so hot right now.
I know Loki has always been a really popular character in the
Well,
MCU.
also given the last time that we saw him, which was taking the Tesseract at the end of Endgame, right? So
I think so.
No, he wasn't in Endgame.
No,
He was
he
in
wasn't. And
Infinity War.
at the end
he
of
got killed.
Infinity War, you're right. No, he
Yeah,
takes
he got
but he
killed.
picks up the Tesseract and he walks away with it when they do the
Yeah,
time hop.
the past version is
Yeah. So this
Oh yeah, because they
Very
messed up the timeline.
yeah, so this
Everything's ruined.
this version is the one that took the Tesseract, is what I'm getting from the preview.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right.
Because they keep,
I don't know.
they keep saying like this version of him, or do you think this version, or and it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
because
okay,
they can do whatever they want now with the
yeah,
timeline, which is kind of annoying. But at least we get these characters back. I wish they would.
I enjoy that. I enjoy that they're taking such free reign with it. I mean, at some
Yeah.
point they've done such a really good job at making it making it kind of make sense that we can get a little freaky now, which is starting to feel like it with WandaVision and now this one. We're getting a little off the walls, which is good, and that's what I'm loving about these MCU series. Is you have WandaVision and then a Falcon Winter Soldier and now Loki. They all seem like entirely different shows that could be from entirely different studios and entirely different universes, but yet they're all somehow connected, which is pretty nuts. And I'm loving it.
Yeah,
and I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this, especially now. I feel like, especially now with having the streaming service, I feel like Disney has another avenue that they can show these movies in and these shows in.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually hoping that and from what I'm seeing, it's true. We're not going to have to wait a year between a Marvel movie, or you know what I mean. We get our big movie, and then we have our shows to keep us kind of happy.
Just don't fall behind.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
that's the one real risk.
Yeah, we'll get to it later, but I had to watch several episodes in a row, which I think you mentioned this to us earlier. Is still shorter than the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Yeah, we were discussing about how long it would take us to talk about it, and I was like, well, fortunately, these 4 episodes are actually less time overall than the Snyder cut. So I mean,
and it felt like
at least we got that
in a good way. Like it went by
yeah.
quick. Yeah, I really. So I'll say this: I'm really excited for the Loki series. I thought it was a movie, but even more excited that it's a series. There's so many positive things. However, the one thing that does kind of annoy me is that they did good with him, but if you think about it, the Hulk hasn't had his own movie or show at all, and it's
nope.
But he made it through. They did a good job with him, right? He was like a big focus of the last 2 movies.
I heard several things on this, and once again, this is reading online. These are people's opinions more than actual fact.
Those are great. We love you guys.
From my understanding, though, it was that people were fed up with the Hulk. They had seen his origin over and over and over.
Yeah, I don't want an origin movie, but
I mean, nice to get something. I mean, we got Ragnarok, but that was like it was combined with Thor, and which is still a great movie. I loved Ragnarok, but I'm with Kyle. I was really upset because I really enjoyed the original Hulk introduction into the MCU. I know it's an iffy topic for some people because a lot of people are wishy washy on it if they like it or not. But I kind of wish we got some more onto it. I mean, we kind of got a little bit, and then he was just there with everybody else, and we haven't gotten anything new with him. And it is kind of a bummer. Hulk's a very important character, and I mean, it's a valid point though, because we did get that Hulk movie that. I forget the character who made that. The guy who made Crouch Tiger, Hidden Dragon. He made that Hulk movie that was like super long, and it was very drawn out. Ang Lee, yeah. And then before that, we had the TV show, which is a great show as well, but for its time.
Well, and then after Ang Lee, you had what's his name who did his movie?
Edward Norton's.
Edward Norton.
Yes,
No,
Edward Norton.
that was his introduction to the MCU. Yeah, that's
Well, yeah, but technically, it's not because he hasn't given it to the MCU yet.
I think it's still part of the MCU
The
because
story
they always
is.
consider it. Yeah, they always consider it part of the MCU. It's just the movie rights itself are like held up in some weird limbo.
Yeah.
So, like, to me personally, I would say, well, technically, then it's not part of the MCU till you can say, I can show this as mine.
Yeah,
Like,
I get
I
what you're
mean,
saying,
personally.
and I get the point you're saying with Origins. Like, I don't want another Origin Hulk either, but a show where he's on the run or developing something with other Marvel
Yeah,
characters scattered, like we've had with these two shows now, would be, I think, right up Hulk's alley.
I get some Monster of the Week stuff. Hulk is
Yeah.
the comics, the stuff whenever the bit I've read. I haven't read a whole lot of Hulk stuff, but it's usually Hulk battling some sort of other big monster type character, either that brain character or Abomination
Brain.
or things like that. Get us some of these Monster of the Week stuff. I think he could be a really cool like side story where he's just like fighting things.
That would be
I mean,
cool.
keep it like 4 or 5 episodes and just leave it at that. I mean, that'd be really fun. Just Hulk, bring him back.
Bring him back. We're going to start that hashtag. So that's the Loki series. Forgive me for not knowing that it was a series. I thought it was a movie. It sounds like they're going more in the series line, but we could talk about that later. Let's switch over to video games for a minute before we get into our soapbox and our spoiler cast for Falcon. So let's shift gears into video games. Alan, you said you had something you got back into. I guess it's retro now. It seems weird to talk about it,
Yeah,
but
it's really hard to think of this thing because I guess that's just showing my age. It's really hard thinking of this thing as a retro console because I remember so closely when it was new. But I recently started dabbling in my GBA again, which got me interested in my PSP in turn. And so I've been just having a lot of fun with this little powerful console, and I found a place where I could get some Japanese translated games, so I could actually try out some games that were never released here. And so I haven't had a chance to really dig into them yet, but it's been really a really big reopener into the PSP, and I guess that kind of leads into when we've been talking about here and there is about retro gaming and how it's just boomed
yeah.
right now, and I can see the attraction because I'm attracted to this PSP if you can believe it.
Mm.
Why don't you marry it?
But I'm really enjoying my time with it again, and I love this console. I was playing Luminous before we started recording,
Nice.
just because I love that game. I go back to it all the time. I have it on Switch as well. I love that game. It's just so nice to just put
It's
some
a good one.
headphones on and just jam out with some puzzle. But yeah, it's just I love this console, and I can't wait to play some more of it. And what about you guys? Are you guys interested in some retro stuff that maybe you've dug out of your closet or something that recently?
Oh man. I love the PSP. I literally have one sitting right next to me here on my desk. But I was gonna say, what if you thought, or have you thought about just putting a GBA on your PSP? Because that's kind of what I did for like the harder, more expensive games. I'm not gonna lie. I played a lot of GBA games on my PSP. It's a really good handheld for that. It has the backlight and everything, but I don't know if you're looking for like the real deal.
I looked into it a bit, and like I was just talking about, retro gaming has become very expensive to like start collecting again.
Yeah.
I have a collection of GBA games, and so I am dabbling in some emulation, and it's not illegal. It's technically in a gray area, so we'll just leave that alone.
Yeah.
But yes, I was playing with my GBA, and I was honestly the screen is not very good. I have a first release of the SP, and it is backlit, but it's still kind of dim, and it's just not very pleasant to look at. When you compare it to the PSP, which has a beautiful screen. I have a PSP 3000 that's beautiful. So, of course, I slapped an emulator on there to play some of those GBA games because it looks better on my PSP. And also, with my PSP games on there and my GBA games on there and a couple of Game Boy games. No, don't catch me. I have all my handheld games on one console. Yeah, old school games. I love me some original Game Boy Tetris. There's something about the Tetris on the original Game Boy that song has the theme song has never sounded as good as it did on the regular Game Boy. In my opinion, it's an amazing sound.
It does it for you, huh?
Yeah, it just does it for me. So I do have that on there. I have very few Game Boy games, and that's just one of them because I just got to have my Tetris fix. But yeah, of course, I've been putting GBA games on my PSP because why not?
Of course,
it's a wonderful console.
It is
for that.
Now that you mention it, I actually pulled out one yesterday that's even older than those that I have. It's a Game Gear. It's a Sega Game Gear.
Oh,
and you want to talk about screen quality?
Oh man,
that puppy! It has the like dimmer. I think the old school Game Boy had it, where you had to like find the zone, just the right little spinner knob, and you could still barely see it. But I think there is like a light in there, so it's definitely better than the Game Boy. But
it just drains batteries like nobody's business.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's the reason why I pulled it out. So I got one of the portable battery packs for it, but that thing's ancient, 30 years old now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that you can get a remote control car battery and replace it. And so I did that, and I charged it up, and I just wanted to make sure it was still working. So I have to charge the battery, and then I plug that into the Game Gear, and sure enough, I have a portable Game Gear without eating 6.
There you go.
No joke, 6 AA batteries.
Yeah, it's insane. I remember back in high school when I went to like a volleyball game or something, but I had a Game Boy, and I went in a car with a family on the way to this game, and they had like 4 Game Gears in their car, and so I was set for the ride except for the batteries. I was trying to play it. I'd never played one before that, and I remember it was just like, this is actually really nice, but then it died.
Yep. Yeah, and you got to have a tub of them ready to go.
Yeah.
That was the only reason I got it, was that if I could have a rechargeable battery, because there's no way that I could eat through batteries like that. But I actually played it, and what's great is it's so stupid big. It's like almost bigger than the Switch, but it feels so good in my hands. Just like, this feels sturdy.
And with the Game Gear too, the thing with the Game Gear is that the majority of games that are on it, I don't think there's very many exclusive Game Gear games. I think all the Game Gear games are actually either from the Master System or dumbed down versions from the Sega Genesis.
That's right. You are correct.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like exclusives, because I was looking into it recently and I was really surprised to kind of figure that out. Which again kind of leads towards Game Boy being better.
The funny thing is, there's like an RPG called Defenders of the Oasis on there, where you actually play as Thor. It's supposed to be really good. Hard to find, but I found it on the 3DS eShop for like $3. So I was like, well, why do we even have this Game Gear then? I just buy these games for
see it on a much better device.
$2. Yeah. But don't tell my wife that, because she asked the same questions.
I understand. I get the same things when I was getting eyeballs while I was messing with my PSP and doing all sorts of stuff. And it's like, don't you have those 2 retro consoles there that you messed with a while ago? And I was like, yeah, I'll get to them. Don't worry. They're coming up. They're coming up. Their time's coming back.
I just hiss at her like a vampire lurking in the shadows. Back off.
All right, grandpas. Let's move on to the nowadays. Let's get out of I remember when, and let's keep it
I see.
current because
He's just so jealous right
you
now.
know.
You hear the jealousy in his voice?
Oh yeah, I hear it.
He's like,
I
man, I
hear
wish I had kept some of my
Oh
childhood.
man, I'm actually so thankful that I can because I can't deal with the graphics. You guys, you know how
I
I
know.
am.
Is there any though? Is there anything like older that you like? What's the oldest console that you'd be willing to go back to?
I played Origin a bit while my back was out on the PS3, so that was fun.
On the PS3.
PS3.
Okay. I mean,
Last gen. All right. I mean, no.
remember
Actually, it's 2 gens ago.
two now.
Technically, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are those graphics getting difficult for you?
Mm,
Are they starting to get a little old?
yeah.
Even those?
It's starting to get to the point where I'm just like, I can.
That's actually surprising. But then again, I know I'm a different beast. But yeah, I put Final Fantasy 13 on my PS3, and I was really surprised about how amazing it looked.
It
For
still looks.
you know,
I think
it still
yeah.
looks incredible.
I'm
Yeah.
still blown away by a lot of PS3 stuff. Some of it is garbage, but
You guys can't tell me like you don't notice the blotches
oh
and
yeah,
stuff. Like there are
Yeah.
times where Batman's whole cape just shifts. It doesn't move.
Batman
It just
is
shifts.
one of the better looking ones. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
But there are moments where it just like, whoop, you know, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of screenshots of it where it just like his leg is coming out of his back
Yeah.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest with you, it is a bit of, well, I didn't keep it, so I don't play it. You know what I
right.
mean? But it is also a bit of like, I don't know. My fiance loves retro, especially like retro Sony stuff. Like it's just like for me, you know, and that she's happy with that. She's excited with it. But for me, if someone were to give me like a Gen 1 Xbox, I would kind of look at you and be like, "What? Why'd you go
Oh
to
my
the
god.
dump for
The
me?"
Gen 1
Like,
Xbox is like the perfect emulation device as well. It's like one of the greatest emulation devices.
yeah, but for me, it's like this is something I got rid of. I
Right.
don't want it back.
It's good. You're right, Alan. But like, there's a lot of people that just don't want to even mess with that. Right? Like,
Yeah, true,
that is a
true.
project. But you're right. That is a good
It's one of the
beast of
first
a
consoles
machine.
that had an internal memory. I watched some speedrun thing recently where the discs are starting to get disc rot and start breaking, and so the speedrunning community is having a hard time maintaining keeping the disc until they found out how to mod the Xbox and actually basically put the disc onto the Xbox directly, which actually also fixes a lot of load times. But it's
That
just
is
interesting that because these discs are now dying slowly, when it's sad. And also, when you play them so much, they get like disc burns and stuff on them. So that's one of the
I've
earliest
never seen that
consoles that
one.
you're. Yeah, I'll have to show you the video where they talk about it. It's pretty nuts. But
Actually, my Xbox smoked. My Xbox went up in smoke one time. My old one.
it's pretty fascinating, the Xboxes. But yeah, it's just nuts that that console is the first one of the first consoles with an onboard memory. Before that, everybody else
Yeah.
used memory cards.
No, but what I'm saying is I put my game in my old Xbox way back in the day, right before I got the new 360.
Yeah,
And yeah, out of the disk space, smoke started coming out. And
yeah.
I was like,
That's
"Oh, that's
That's
done."
interesting.
It's a fascinating system. I never thought it was that fascinating because I actually never did. I have an? I don't think I had an Xbox. I did have a 360.
I don't think you did.
No, I had a PlayStation
Yeah.
2, but I did get a 360, and I did play with a lot of Xboxes. But yeah, but just looking into them has been very, very fascinating.
I still got mine. I actually replaced the rubber band on the disk drive because it stopped opening. And it's actually really easy fix. You don't even have to open the console up or nothing. I thought it was Dunzo, and then I saw that, oh no, it's like a rubber band. They're like 25 cents. It does have its problems though, like with loading, and a lot of almost every game that's backwards compatible runs better on a 360. But there's even games that original Xbox games that work on the Xbox One, which is crazy, and I love it.
That's cool.
But Tomas, you were saying, about the graphics. I will admit, after playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, I don't know if I could ever go back to play the original because they're very different games, even though they have the same name. But the graphics alone, if we're just talking about that, I don't think I could do it.
So did either of you put any more time in on
I
that,
did.
or
I did
I
indeed.
did a little
I-
bit. I did a little bit. I almost got out of the slums, I think is where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm kind of in
But
this.
we're on the
I'm in the
edge.
same place, but I was really taking my time. I think I did every side mission.
Yeah, I was doing that too.
I told myself, let's just get through it, and then when I started all those missions, I was like, no, I'm going to do them all, and so
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
still working through all that.
I struggle with that too, but I've heard that there's not a whole lot of side stuff, so it's not going to be too time consuming
It
to
didn't,
really
yeah.
go 100%.
From what I was seeing, if you did one side thing, it usually connected to another
Mhm.
one,
Yeah,
and then that may or may not, but usually it's still even connected to another one. And it was like, oh, I can just knock these all out.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it wasn't too much, but you could have skipped them all. I didn't. And then I got
Mhm.
stuck playing darts on the dartboard at the boss.
oh yeah, that was so
That
weird.
it was
I
really
did that
good though.
too.
I I was like, this is a good mechanic. Yeah.
It was done well, but I was so confused. I was like walking around the bar. I was like, "What the frick
Yeah.
am I supposed to do? I'm just supposed to wait for him?
Yeah.
What is going on?" And I was like walking everywhere. Then I finally found the darts, and I was like, "All right, I guess I'll play some darts while I'm just sitting
But
here."
so I agree with you because I was a little frustrated, but I think that was the intention, right? Where like
Yeah, yeah.
you
Mhm.
had to just wait there and get a little bored.
Yeah, I kept walking over to the pinball machine. Like, so how does this open?
Oh
Come
yeah,
on,
to go
open
down
it,
there.
open.
I was like, "What am I supposed to do?" I saw them do something underneath, so come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part was out of the game. It's also, as someone that played the original through all the way through and enjoyed it, it is very weird to see. I don't know about weird. It's different to see the characters animated and talking fully fleshed out that way. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is different. This is a whole different vibe.
Yeah, I I am loving that fact because I had a hard time playing the original Final Fantasy VII because I went to it back to it late because I didn't have
Oh,
a PlayStation One, so I went back to it way late. Uh, and this is one thing I guess because I want them to do this more, especially with games that are in the PlayStation One and Nintendo 64 era, because those original 3D games are. I'm usually one for graphics, but I'm fun for all types of graphics. But those old polygon graphics are like really really rough
yeah,
to
yeah.
to
Super
experience.
Nintendo is better.
Yeah, Super Nintendo is easy to go back to, but 64 is rough, and that's why when this when the re-release and the All Stars came out, I was happy to see Mario 64, but they gotta remake that game. Come on, remake Mario 64. Give him the tight movement from Odyssey. Give him. I mean, made it for DS, but they didn't really do much more with it. I
They
mean, I
did do it
guess.
with DS. That's right.
Yeah, but they kind of left it there. I mean, I think you can play on the Wii U, but we need like a Odyssey. We need it on the
Yeah,
Odyssey engine.
I get what you're
We need
saying.
yeah, Mario 64 on the Odyssey engine. They even teased it in Odyssey, and I
Mm-hmm.
want that. I want that experience in like a more. This is one few times I'm going to be clamoring for higher graphics because this game deserves it. If any game deserves this treatment, Mario 64 deserves it.
True, I'll give you that.
Let's give Mario a makeover.
I wasn't I wasn't able to play the DS version. I tried, but my hands
I
couldn't
yeah,
use the the
D-pad.
stick. Yeah, or yeah, it wasn't even a stick. But I might try it on the Wii U. I forgot it's on there.
Oh, you people in your big hands not able to use a D-pad.
The Wii U though, you still have to use the D-pad though. That's what sucks. By the way,
Also saying at least I won't get a hand cramp from doing it.
true, true.
Which anyways. That's annoying. I didn't know that. Maybe I won't do it.
Yeah, I got it on there for that exact reason, and then I found out that you had to use the D-pad, and I was
Which
like,
is
"Bah!"
annoying because you can fully map out Star Fox 64 to whatever buttons you want. And
Yeah,
it's at first it's
it's
really
the
weird.
DS games. Yeah, it's the DS
Oh,
games. You can't seem
DS,
to do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Anyways, let's move on to our soapbox time, which ties into what we're just talking about because I'm up on the soapbox first, and it really is just what we're talking about. It's older games and the preservation of older games. It's interesting that we kind of found our way to this, but recently Sony announced that the PS3 and the PS Vita stores are shutting down pretty soon. By the end of summer, they will be shut down. Which I knew they were kind of dead because I used to go on the PS3 store weekly to look for deals, but they stopped doing that like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
And it just made me sad. So I knew the end was coming, and I have all the games I bought downloaded. And I think you could still download games if you had bought them.
Yeah.
But that's the thing here is that
You just can't buy any new games.
yeah, you won't be able to buy new games. But on the same note, one thing they discovered is that there's a battery in the PS3 that is still running fine because PS3 isn't that old, but eventually it will die. And once that goes out, it essentially will reset your system, and anything on there will be erased. And so even if you have stuff downloaded or whatever, it's gonna wipe out.
I've always had issues with the PS3, and it's because of stuff like this. I don't know if I don't know if it's in the PS4. I did hear a little bit that it might be the same problem, but I'm not sure. I really need to research that more. But every time, it's PS3 always seems to have more problems, like weird little problems, and it's frustrating. Like bringing games from that system seems to be a hassle for some reason, and it's just I don't understand it. It's a wonderful system, but then it seems to have all these weird problems. I don't get it, and
so
it's frustrating.
I don't either.
I don't mind, honestly, games phasing out. I don't mind that.
What do you mean phasing out?
What I do
like from
so
existence?
yeah, personally, because like for me, I used to love playing GoldenEye. They haven't remade GoldenEye, at least to my knowledge.
They actually have, yeah, on the Wii.
Well, yeah, it's a Wii. But anyways, they haven't remade it to any of the
best
new
sold consoles. But yeah.
No, but they haven't made it to one of the newer gens. The Wii is still considered is one of the.
Oh yeah, they haven't re-released it since then. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I don't mind that they get phased out as long as they give us new ones, and that's where I'm starting to have a problem. Is I feel like they're not giving us a bunch of new games; they're just giving us a bunch of old ones remade.
So here's my problem with that.
I see.
Okay. I'll give you this right now, Tomas. This is my problem with that. Do you feel the same way about movies? When they remake a movie, are you cool with the other movie just disappearing? When they remake a song, are you okay with the original just going away?
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's
so why is it okay with video games?
Fair enough.
It is slightly different. I don't think it's okay.
All right.
Did you want to comment on?
No, I don't want to seem baffled. Yeah. So you go ahead and talk.
But kind of just said you were. Anyways, that is a really good point. I hadn't really thought about that, but I agree with you, Alan. I think it is slightly different because games are a different medium. I don't think they should just phase out. And I really don't know what the solution is because there's a lot of digital only games, especially now. It's becoming more and more digital only. And so as we progress, I mean, I guess there's ways to save those, but at the same time, those will probably phase out. And the physical games will deteriorate eventually too.
It's an issue, and I really, really want them to. There are movements to preserve old games, and I really support these facts because while you may not play them as much, just like you may not watch just To Kill a Mockingbird, for instance. There's a random movie. You may not watch it that much, but it's there, and you can revisit that part of history, and that's the same thing with games. Now, my big point in this sense is Nintendo. They have a really good system, and I really think maybe these companies need to work together, and we need to find a different way, or we need to figure out a way to release patents so that way other people can do it for them.
Yeah.
Because like Nintendo has that really cool system. I mean, there's not enough games on there, no way in heck. But
what are you talking about?
Nintendo Online, where you can go visit the Nintendo games and the Super Nintendo games. It's a nice little system, and there's not nearly enough of it there, but it's still nice to have, and we need to have something. There are websites that actually have the ability to play those games on their website. with some problems, specifically with like Nintendo games and stuff. But they're there, and we need to get to a point where we can start maybe releasing those patents so we can just preserve them, because there's people who want to preserve them without making like a profit, like a
Right.
not-for-profit system.
I
And I think
think,
that's what we
yeah,
need.
I think you're hitting the nail on the head there, because if I'm looking at it from a business standpoint, right, which I like to do often, I, especially in the age of data collection up the wazoo, if I were to look at, my personal account and the games I play on those systems, right, the Super NES and the NES that's available when you purchase the Nintendo Online, I maybe play
Mhm.
10% of what they even offer
Hmm.
personally. And so, again, this is just my account. I know a lot of people play more, but if you look at the data, it's like, well, why bother? Because no one is doing that, right? No one's
Yeah,
playing these as
Yeah.
much. There's no reason for it. But that's why I agree with you of just saying, okay, let's get it to these foundations that are trying to preserve games. They're nonprofit stuff. Just trying to. It's because it's been a debate that it's even an art form for a long time.
That's what I was gonna say. Was that's really, I think, where games where games are different. I don't. I I agree with you, guys. Though I don't think that's fair, and pointing that out to me, Alan, it has made me think. But I would say that the difference between not allowing a movie to phase out and the difference, but I would also say they have let some
For
movies
sure.
phase out.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they shouldn't have. And they are being resurfaced, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but anyways, but yeah, and not letting certain songs be phased out and stuff. You know, it's true, but the difference between those things and the games is that those things are considered art, which I guess for some reason video games aren't.
Because it says game in it. If it was called a video
Yeah.
experience, it would this probably
Yeah,
wouldn't even be a
then it would be
debate.
considered art.
I'm really glad you guys pitched in on this topic, because I wanted to hear what you had to say about it. The main thing I wanted to talk about before I wrap this up is that Sony has really no care, desire to do what you were just mentioning, Alan.
Yeah, I
It doesn't
know.
seem
Yeah.
like they do, which is kind of annoying.
No.
However, Microsoft is. There is a slew of games. Like I said, you could play original Xbox games on the Xbox One today, right
Yeah.
now, and
It's
and
impressive.
the Game Pass has tons of old Xbox games on
Hmm.
there, and they're really reaching that market that you're talking about, and they're really kind of open to it. So I hope we get to that like conglomerate merge where we're preserving these things together.
Well, not to make excuses for Sony, although that's probably exactly what I'm doing, but I would say that one of the advantages that Xbox has over Sony is it's younger. It's easier for it to go back and grab those old games and stuff like that. Whereas I don't know how easy it is for Sony to go back to those
It's
old game
also
producers and stuff like
it's
that who have.
yeah, well, because
Yeah,
the way Xbox is getting around it is they're allowing the old games on their service while bringing some of them that they can get the rights to on their more bigger service.
Yeah,
Xbox did get rid of this at one point. After the 360, when the Xbox One came out, they did not have backwards compatibility at first, and the reason was
mhm,
is because, like Sony, they both found out with their data, just like you were just saying earlier, Tomas, you don't go back and play those games. The data shows that the majority of people who buy a new console do not go back and play the old games, even if it has the
yeah,
capability. So Sony got rid of it, but they were already taking off, whereas Xbox were having issues. Now, Xbox did add it later through emulation on the Xbox One, which gave them a gimmick to kind of stand out away from Sony, and it's done them well in this sense, like you just said, Kyle.
yeah, yeah. It is.
I'm glad they did. I'm just saying they did get rid of it at first, just like
No, you're
Sony,
right.
because the data's there, but they
mhm.
needed something.
Here's the ending point, and then we'll move on. We've been talking about it. We haven't kept tally. I don't think we should keep tally. Xbox has made a lot of mistakes like that, right? They even
Mhm.
tried to like get away with
Oh, Sony's not away with it either. But go
yeah,
ahead.
but Xbox makes a correction, whereas Sony goes, "Nah, we're sticking to our guns. Suck it up. We're fine." And it's like, okay, and it's just another point for me. I'm just shifting that much more over to Xbox fanboy rather than Sony every time they do something like this, because it's just it's strange to me that
It's a good point, though. I mean, it is a good point because the whole reason that I switched over to PlayStation was because I could visually see a difference, and so I knew that PlayStation was doing a better job. And now that you can't really visually see a difference, you might as well go for what gives you the most access to what you want.
yeah.
You know, and
Now, I will say that this next generation, everything they said everything besides like 3 or 4 games, it's something really small, all work on PS5. Same with
Mhm.
Xbox. All the games are going over and working with their new
So
Xbox
like
Series X. So
PS1 through? Is that what you mean?
no. Sorry,
PS4.
PS4.
Okay,
Everything from PS4 is working on PS5
right.
because
That's true.
the system is the same essentially. It's just upgraded with a new. It's
Mhm.
the same core. I
Yeah,
don't know how to describe it, but it's basically the same because we've got so far now that we don't need to make any major changes. So now we won't have that issue. But the problem is going back, and Xbox has actually made, like you just said, has made that point to do that already, and they're
Mhm.
just continuing it over, which is pretty
right.
impressive on their part.
Well, and the thing is, you could go back and play an old 360 game, on the new Xbox or whatever. The
Yeah,
problem with the shutting down the PS3 thing is that if there's a patch for that game popping
Mhm.
now, like you're not going to get it,
you're not
right?
gonna
And
get it.
so
No,
that you're going to play either
Yeah.
a
a, a,
broken
a
game.
broken game or
Or hope that you don't have the one that glitched out.
yeah, exactly.
It's
So
true. It's true. Yeah, and we are kind of moving past this, but the only issue is it is another service. PlayStation Now is adding
Mhm.
more and more PS3 games to their service, but it is taking time, and PS2 games and PS1 games to their service, but it is taking time.
so here's the
So that
thing
is
then,
Yeah.
happening.
which has been a problem with Sony forever, in my opinion, is just the way they communicate that. Like I
Oh yeah,
said, I just broke down all the Xbox stuff because they get it out there, right?
yeah.
They want you to know, and I feel like Sony does. I don't know. Maybe their marketing or their communications
Yeah,
PR is just not great.
Could be a problem. Yeah, it could be a problem with marketing. It could be a problem with the fact that Sony's not a US based
That's true.
company.
yeah,
That's a good
I
point.
don't
Um,
understand it. I completely agree with you guys because the PlayStation Now, nobody knows much about it anymore. It's an old
mhm.
system, and it's actually competing. On paper, it should be competing with Game Pass, but they're not promoting it at all. They're not even saying
Yeah,
it exists by looking at the store. But when was the last time you heard anything about PlayStation Now? Besides
it's
look at the
true.
store. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's true.
but it
Yeah.
exists. I
I
mean,
don't I don't even think when it was a new thing I heard anything about
Yeah.
it.
yeah, they
It's
don't
weird.
promote it, and and they could because it is a
Yeah.
competitor against Game Pass. It may not be as
Yeah.
good, but it's a competitor, and they could make it as good.
Well, and the fact that you said that they're adding those like PS3 and PS2 stuff, that is huge for me, but
Hmm. But
because
how
the
would you know?
PS I don't know. Yeah, not until you told me.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap that up. Good good stuff though. We'll see how it all goes down once they kill it. Mario's already dead because Nintendo shut
Yeah,
down
unfortunately,
all its yeah, it's he's dead. Now the PS3 is next. And the Vita, really more importantly. I love the Vita. But
yeah, that's one.
yeah, we'll save that for the next episode.
Yeah,
We are moving on to we are titling it the Duel of Rates game. We played
yeah.
this last episode, and it was really fun.
Yeah, I loved it, so I just set it up. But yeah, Duel of Fates. I'm excited for Duel of Rates. I'm excited for it. I like that
You're
name.
gonna get us sued if you keep saying that. That's what's gonna
They don't have
happen.
the rights to that name, but it's Duel
Disney
of
Disney
Rates.
has ears
Ha
everywhere.
ha! Ha ha!
Anyways, the Duel of Rates. It's the same rules as last time. It's based off of the Metacritic score. I will say the critic score. You guys will say the user score. You have to get up to or including, but not past Jeopardy rule. Not Jeopardy.
Price is
Price is
right.
Right rules.
Yeah, yeah.
Price is Right rules. Uh, And if you get on the money, you get 2 points. If you go past it and you both go past it, nobody gets a point. And if you so after that, it's whoever gets the closest. So it's pretty simple. So let's get started here. The theme for this week, the theme for last week was video games, but this week is superheroes.
Oh,
We have enough superhero stuff here. So
cool.
superhero movies to be
Nice.
particular.
Awesome. Okay.
Let's do this, Bob.
All right, so we got our first one here,
Drew.
and all these usually have some sort of relationship to what things we've done in the past, or even things we've talked about on this channel. So the first one we got is The Rocketeer from 1991.
Wow.
The Metascore for that movie is 61.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
who
Kai,
won
I think
last week?
Tomas was first last. Oh no, Tomas won last week. So Tomas, why don't you go first this week? That sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Rocketeer.
Man, what a callback.
Loved Rocketeer. Yeah, man. Jeez. What was the critic?
The critic is 61.
All right, Bob. I'm gonna go with. No, I'll stop that. But I'm gonna go with. I loved it, but I was a little kid. I'm gonna go with 75.
75.
Ooh,
All right.
higher.
Yeah, higher.
And
Definitely.
by the
higher.
way, you got to get the music to Prices Right now. That's the music we need.
That would actually be wonderful. All right, he's got a 75. Kyle, what do you think the Rocketeer would have gotten by its viewers?
Okay, so yeah, there is a nostalgia bump for sure, but I think you went too high, so I'm going to play it safe and say 65 for users. User score 65, Bob.
All right, 65. Well, Tomas, you got yourself a point there. The user score is 77.
Oh, good job.
So
good
good
job.
job.
Don't mess with my Rocketeer.
Dang, I didn't think they'd go that high. I'd give.
All
I
right.
haven't seen it in years, but I'd probably rate it that.
Oh man,
about
I
right.
watched it on Disney Plus the other night. It's
It's a good movie.
for the nostalgia. It's
Ah.
great, but yeah.
All right, Kyle, you're up next.
Yeah.
We got an oldie but goodie. We all watched this, I think, when we were, I don't remember when this movie came out. Oh, yeah, it came out in 1995.
Oh,
I know we
boy.
all watched it. We all loved it. It had our favorite Riddler.
Yes, I knew it.
Batman Forever.
I knew it.
The Metascore, the critic score, is 51.
What? It's worse than
Wow.
Rocketeer? They're
Worse than
Wow.
Rocketeer.
loons, man. That is a
I mean,
masterpiece.
I thought Jim Carrey's acting alone was worth more
Yeah.
than that. I thought he did a good job. As
We
the
could
Riddler.
have a whole cast about this. I'm gonna say that the users gave it a 73.
All right, 73, Kyle. Tomas?
I'm gonna say that the users were. I mean, I enjoyed the Riddler, but I was a little disappointed with that one. So I'm gonna say that the users gave it a 60. I'm gonna play safe like Kyle.
All right, you said, how much did you say there, Tomas? 60. Well, Tomas, you're at it again. It is 64.
Come on. These users are
Really though, that
killing
bad?
me. They like the Rocketeer more
Like-
than Batman Forever.
I mean, yeah. Like I could see if it was Batman and Robin. Like,
Right,
then yeah,
exactly.
we've got to be down there.
Man, nostalgia will kill this game for me.
All right. I did try to pick ones that were a little bit older.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
Here we go. Tomas, we got a little movie that came out in 2000, sparked, in my opinion, the Marvel Revolution, X-Men.
Oh.
The Metascore is 64.
Now this is the first X-Men,
The
right?
first X-Men.
64.
64.
I'm gonna go 80s, man. That one was great. That was my favorite.
64.
Oh, except for that stupid storm scene. That was hold on. No, I'm still gonna go 80.
All right, we got an 80 from Tomas. Kyle,
Why?
what do you think they gave?
I'm so glad we
X-Men.
didn't read reviews as kids because, man, they're
Well, these are Metacritic, and I'm not sure if Metacritic was even out then. So
well.
Like, we got user scores 'cause people
sometimes
can
they
go back
pull from
to it.
older stuff, but
that's true. Yeah,
still, what was the meta score? I'm sorry.
64. And Tomas chose 80.
Oh, he went 80. Oh,
He
there's
went
no
80.
way they gave it that high.
I don't know, man. The fans loved it.
65. 65.
65.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. Good job, but barely, as the score was 77.
Oh.
So you went a little over, Tomas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just barely,
I
man.
know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
We're back to Kyle.
Yeah.
And we got a little classic that we all enjoyed. It just made the Tobey Maguire Spider-Verse in infamy as Spider-Man 3 came out with the best Venom ever. We got a 59.
Oh, okay. So even the critics
yeah,
knew.
that's about accurate.
Even they knew.
Yeah.
So what is the user score?
Okay. This is a tricky one because the users hated it even more. I'm going to say 53.
53. All right, Tomas.
Well, because I have to go lower, I'm going to go 50.
Ooh, you guys underestimate the 1,700 people who reviewed this movie. It is a 68.
Stupid.
Kyle, you get it.
That is stupid. But I'll take
that's
it.
That's insane.
All right.
68?
What about it was that good? What about it was that good?
Yeah.
Whose acting was that phenomenal?
All right.
Franco?
No.
We have a movie that I think we all enjoyed. This one will start with Tomas. A little Ben Affleck film, a precursor to his Batman role, as we found him as Daredevil.
Oh, that's right. The multiverse is alive and well.
Oh my word! How long has that been? Do you have one that was
2003 is when it came out.
Wow.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Oh, so
I actually watched this movie quite a bit. The critic score is a 42.
Oh, come on. It was not 42? That bad.
42.
Wow.
I'm going to go 60. I'm going to go 60.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. Who knows what time has done to it after.
Yeah, I haven't watched it recently, but I did enjoy it when it came out.
I never got around to Electra, so hopefully you don't pick that one next.
No,
you saved yourself a bullet with that
I did it because I just heard nothing but terrible things, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
What did you say, Tomas?
Oh, I said 60.
Okay, 60. I'm going to go 61, Bob.
61. Nice steal, Kyle.
Yeah.
The user score is 81.
Okay. That one I agree with.
You're like that guy in Price is Right, who's just at the very end, who just goes, yeah, I'm going to go $1 higher, Bob, just $1 higher. Like, wow, my word, who are you?
Just play the game, bro. Just play the game.
So, we all loved the original Superman movies, the 4 of them.
There was 4.
But we remember when he came back, they tried to capture that magic again. It was Superman Returns in 2006.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You guys remember when that came out? That was nuts.
Yeah, I fell asleep watching that one.
Yeah, it was not that great.
So slow.
But the critics gave it a 72.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it had its moments.
I don't even remember it. Kevin Spacey was Lex Luthor. I didn't remember that.
He was.
Like, wow.
And Brandon Roth was Superman. And he's reprised his role as that exact Superman a couple times now.
Yeah, I think so.
In the WB universe, or CW, sorry. It's always going to be CW. All right, so the critics gave, you said the
72. The critics gave it a 72.
I'm going to say, just like Tomas seemed to like it, the users liked it, so 78.
78. Tomas.
I'm gonna go. I mean, it's like the only Superman. Well, I did kind of like the new one too, but
Man of Steel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You said 70.
78.
What? 78. I'm gonna go 75.
Fortunately, neither of you get the point, as it is a 66.
What?
66.
Wow.
Dang. Users did not like that movie.
That's silly. Yeah.
Well, did not like it as much. They still liked it. All right. So
It's rare that
Tomas,
it's lower than the critics, though.
you know this movie because I used to watch it all the time. In 2004, a movie came out called The Punisher.
Mm.
The Metascore is 33, if you can believe it.
What?
I know. It shocked me as well. 33.
Like we're talking about the
I
same one,
love
right?
this movie. Yes, I used to watch this movie a lot.
We're not talking about the new one that
No,
just
it's
came
the
out
one
a
that.
couple years ago.
No, this is one 2004. It was. I remember watching it quite
Yeah.
a
John
bit.
Travolta, right? Was the villain?
No, that was the one. That was Warzone. This is the one before
No.
that. Mm-hmm.
No,
Oh wait,
John Travolta was not in Warzone.
you're right. John Travolta is in this one. I'm pretty sure he was the puzzle, wasn't he? Was
Yeah, Jigsaw.
Yeah, he was Jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, yeah, because
Sorry about
I
that.
like
Okay.
Warzone.
I'm gonna say 60. I'm gonna say 60.
All right, Tomas is 60. Kyle, what do you think?
The Metacritic was way low, right?
30s, dude. In the
30s? You
30s.
said just
33.
straight 60? All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for gold here and say
You already won ahead of me. You don't
yeah.
need gold.
I want to just really crush you though. 71. 71.
All right, 71. What was yours again, Tomas?
60.
Oh yeah, Kyle, you got it. It is an
Dang it.
87.
Whoa.
87.
87.
Wow.
I was way off from gold.
People liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird that they like doubled down on the Punisher too in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reboot.
They really did. It was really bizarre.
They did.
Of all the characters to put all their marbles into. Anyways, he's got to come into the universe somehow.
Oh yeah.
He really does. Oh yeah, well they had the
Right.
Netflix thing too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm,
Our next one I brought back from an episode we talked about Batman and the ninjas. We were talking about ninjas, and then we brought up turtles, and so now we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Oh,
3 in 1993. Jim
Oh.
Henson left the project of this one, and you could tell.
This was the time travel one.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the time travel one. The Metascore is a wonderful 40.
Whew.
okay, no, I'd say that's fair.
That
Come
sounds
on,
about
that's
right,
fair.
but yeah, it still hurts.
I'm gonna say the critics really hated losing Henson,
Oh,
so
man.
they're gonna go 30, 35.
Well, you went
All right,
lower.
35 for Tomas.
Yeah.
Kyle, what do you think?
This was a well loved movie. The nostalgia is high for this one, but not too high. So 66.
All right, what did you say, Tomas, again? 30?
35.
Oh, man. Kyle, you went over. Tomas, you got it at a 53. The users
Oh,
put it at a
wow, though.
53.
I told you they liked it better.
Really? I think 40 is a good call.
Yeah. Oh, I
honestly.
agree with you, but I'm telling you, there's a bunch of grown up kids out there
Nostalgia
that
lovers.
just love that thing.
Yeah.
This is the only new movie I put on here, and the only reason is because we talked about it a bit. It is Wonder Woman 1984. Came out in 2020. The Metascore is 60.
Mm.
And I think Kyle is first
Yeah.
this time.
Mhm.
Wow, 60. This is a good one. I'm just going to go out there and say 62.
All right, 62. Tomas, what do you think?
I'm gonna say that at least from everything I've read, people loved it. So I'm gonna go 72.
Another no point.
Oh my gosh.
This one obviously got review bombed or something because it is at a 34.
That's
Wow.
how I felt about it, though.
Really? Did you guys feel like it was that low?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Really? Because I still haven't seen it. I've still been hesitant.
I'd say don't even bother.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
All right,
Jeez.
I brought this one back. It's a little superhero team that came and went. It was Human Torch's Chris Evans' first superhero role, I think.
Yeah.
The second, technically, as this is a sequel. The wonderful villain of Smoke Galactus, which was interesting.
I really thought you were going to come out here and say something like Green Lantern or something like that.
I should have,
coming.
but I thought this one worked really well.
Yeah.
We got our Fantastic Four: Rise of Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
This is an interesting flick, and actually has better scores than the first one, which surprised me. But either way, the Metascore is 45.
Ooh.
And Tomas, I think you're first. You are 1 point behind. This could tie it up and go to
I
our
need
bonus.
to tie it. I need to
Some
tie
crummy
it.
movies, apparently.
45, man. Like, see, here's the thing. I didn't see Silver Surfer. I saw the first one, but I didn't see Silver
It's the
Surfer.
same movie.
Yeah, they're both about the same.
Okay, well then I'll go with 60 because I liked it. I thought it was fun. At least the first one.
Yeah.
Tomas, that's a 60. Kyle, what are you thinking?
You mentioned Galactus, and that's probably one of the most disappointing moments in a theater for me because they hyped it up really well in the movie. Like they built that suspense, and then you see it, and you're like, "Look, anybody who knows who Galactus is knows that ain't it. That is not even close."
That ain't it. Yeah.
Oh, I was so mad. Oh man.
You know, the only thing I can picture when you guys say Galactus is the Dormammu from Doctor Strange.
Oh,
I
That
wish.
floating purple
I
head.
wish that
That
would have
would've
been
been
better. Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been an improvement. You mentioned Green Lantern too. They had the same exact enemy. It looked like garbage.
Oh God, yeah, I didn't think about that, but yes, it was.
That's kind of what it looked like. So, what did you say, Tomas? 60?
He said
I
60.
said 60.
Straight 60. The people that saw it was really pissed off now that I say it out loud. And so I'm going to say that it got a 35.
Good job, Tomas.
Ah,
Tying
yeah.
it up with a 65. It got a 65.
People they don't read the comics. Then people rating this, they've never heard
That
of
is
Galactus.
that is not a part of the weeding out.
Silver Surfer.
Have you read the
looked
comic?
pretty cool.
Have you read the comic?
Yeah, can we put that like stipulation? Is there a tab for that when you're looking at the rating?
This is our bonus round, our bonus Metacritic. This is an old movie. I think we all seen. I hope we've all seen it. We all love this 30s, 40s looking mobster detective with his crazy villains.
Yes.
Dick Tracy.
Oh,
in
yeah, I was gonna be like, are you
1990.
talking about Dick Tracy? Are you? All right. What's the critics? What did they
Critics
say?
gave it a 68.
That sounds about right.
All right.
mean, for critics, I'm up first, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
You are first.
The only reason it got that high was because Al Pacino's in it, and
Madonna's in it.
Yeah, but she brought the score down.
Yeah, she wasn't that great.
I
forgot she was in it.
There was a lot of she was the main actress.
She's the main actress. Yeah.
Hey, don't spoil it. Oh, you just. Anyways,
oh man, this movie's what 30 years old.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot for the moon here. 85.
85.
I haven't watched it in a while, but I liked it when I was a kid. Video game was terrible.
Oh yeah, it was.
I'm gonna say. Wait, what was the critic score again?
68. 68.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the only reason the critics liked it was because it was a big Hollywood actor. But if I remember correctly, it was kind of
yeah, it was.
So I'm gonna go with 60.
Good job, Tomas, going the low ball because it is a 73.
Yeah, only slightly higher.
Can't beat me on movies. Can't beat me on movies.
Can't beat you on video games either.
Good job, Tomas. Congratulations.
2 in a row.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
This is obviously my game.
We'll have to switch this up. You'll have to play Alan next week because I'm no competition for you. You came from down though.
Yeah, you had me by 2, didn't you?
Good job. I do love that game.
Yeah, it
is fun. As we're
game.
titling it, the Duel of Rates. So let's pause for just a second here to let anyone know still listening that we're going to do a lot of spoilers here for the Falcon and Winter Soldier. If you haven't seen it or want to watch it or whatever, go watch it on Disney Plus. It's shorter than the Snyder Cut, at least at this point in time, and probably better, in my opinion.
Oh yes,
you don't have to end each episode going, I need a couple minutes to think about this. You can watch them in succession.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So let's get into it. I don't know if you guys wanted to. We're not going to go through every single detail. I figured we hit hit the good stuff.
So I just want to start with though. Who thinks Sam really messed up by giving away the shield?
I don't.
I think
I don't.
you don't.
No.
I actually do.
Yeah.
I do think. While I understand his motives in doing it, I feel he should have taken the responsibility that Cap was giving him, and respected his choice. Kind of like what Winter Soldier kind of gets at is that if he chose you to do this and you failed him, what does that say about me?
Yeah, but that was a Winter Soldier personal complex he's having.
I understand that.
Yeah, but I see what Alan is saying, and this is kind of why I also agree with Alan, is because you can always say like, I didn't want that responsibility, I didn't want to do this, I didn't believe I could. But if a man as great as that tells you you have that kind of potential, and you don't make the effort to bring it out of yourself, I think you're holding yourself back for reasons that I don't know why he's doing it. But I feel like he's holding himself back.
Right.
And I feel like that's on him. That was a mistake. He should have tried to find what Captain and what Bucky are saying is in him.
So, yeah, those are good points. Obviously, in retrospect, you can go back and be like, yeah, I messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just because Captain America gave you the shield, he ain't God, right? It's not like, he still has his fallible characteristics and all that. And while it is a great honor, he did say this in the show, like, can you just like think about that I did what I thought was right at that moment? And there's no way he would think that they'd hand it to him. Like, when it happened, I was like, you know what? Oh, okay, cool. When it happened, it was just going to be in a museum, like Indiana Jones mentality, right? Like, this belongs in a museum.
Well, see, the thing is that to me personally, I knew that the government was instantly going to pick a new Cap. They weren't going to sit on that. They weren't, and I was surprised they hadn't tried to do it without the shield. And once they got the shield, when he was giving it over, I was watching that episode, and in my head, I was going, "Yeah, they're going to make a new Cap within a day." Like,
right, that was the end of the first episode, right?
I actually didn't think that. I probably should have, I guess, but I didn't think of that. Well, I disagreed that what he did. I will say that hindsight is, obviously, whatever.
Hindsight is 20/20.
I'm not mad at him for making the decision either. I think Winter Soldier gives him a bit too harsh on the whole subject, because, I mean, you got to understand that, he made a tough call, and he did think it was just going to be put away because nobody can live up to that person's, that person.
Yeah.
So basically use it for, to idolize him. But yeah, like you said, I mean, you never trust the military. I mean, we got Iron Patriot, when an Iron Man movie too. I mean, it happened.
Exactly. That's my thing, is like, you're a soldier, man. You know what they do, and to trust the military to not make a new Cap, especially when you give them the shield, was, to me, naive.
Yeah, he is a little trusting altogether.
Yeah,
in this show, which is surprising, but show's got a show.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'm not saying that what Falcon did makes him a bad person, and Falcon's a bad hero now. No, I'm just saying that I feel like Falcon should have had the hindsight, because he was a military man. He knew what the military was capable of.
I agree. It is surprising that. And again, with like when they were spying on him with his Red Wing, with his little Falcon drone, like, you didn't see that coming? dude. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I saw that coming too, because you knew he was using military tech. So I was like,
Mhm.
they can track you. You're using a military plane. You use. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not just gonna like, all right, we're just gonna like let this go under the rug while you just go do whatever you want to do. No, they're gonna watch what the heck you're doing.
Yeah. And I
Because you
think
are
that's
an ex-Avenger.
but that's part of his character too. I think, at least I hope that they're developing that he's very trusting, right? He trusts
Yeah, it's true.
a lot of people.
It's true. And it's true because of what he did is he tried to help vets get
Yeah.
back into the world. So he had to believe in the best of what you could be. He has to believe that you are the better person, or else he would have never been able to do the job he did. So I understand that, yes, he has to have that mentality, but at the same time, I'm kind of just like, man, I don't feel like Rhodey would have fallen for that. You know
True.
what I mean? But I do still love it. I told my fiance, especially while I was watching the movies, but even more so while I've been watching the show, this has given me an appreciation for Falcon that I never had, like in the
Mhm.
comics. I was always like, oh, Falcon, he's just a whatever sidekick. He's not even Bucky, you know?
Yeah.
But like this has made me go, wow, this guy at least he's going toe to toe with super soldiers. And yeah, he might have some tech, but he doesn't have an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, his comic costume was comical, right? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't hold up. So his current suit with the tech is way cooler for sure.
So I did want to go over a couple things real quick. First of all, do you guys notice the shield was new? It's a different shield. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
How did you know?
Wait, Cap Shield?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Cap's shield broke.
Yeah, like a chunk of
So they had to make a new one.
But he came back from the
Unless-
future. He
yeah,
came
the
back from the
time.
past with the
So
shield.
did he
and
bring a
gives it.
different shield, or because
Yeah.
also the pattern and everything is different? So I'm just like, I was just saying.
Oh.
So it's it.
I
Well,
didn't
that
catch
might be
that.
true. But I do know that at the end of Endgame, Cap comes back and gives him the actual
But they
shield.
do have access to Wakanda too, right? Where they can get that
Yeah.
stuff now.
technology, so it is possible.
Sorry, I might be getting a little bit ahead of you, Alan, but didn't you notice that oh man, what's their name? The Doja Mirage or whatever, that they almost
Oh.
took back the shield.
Oh, she
and
did.
she said, no,
That's
leave
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was later, but yeah, exactly. But another thing I wanted to bring up, but that was there, but Joaquin Torres. I don't know if you guys caught that guy's name. That was his informant who was giving him all the information about the Flag Smasher.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's the same character as it's going to be, with all this is leading up to Power Tech Industries and the Power Broker, which is actually a character who who has given people powers in the past, including a little unknown hero called Spider Woman, who got her powers that way. Joaquin Torres also eventually takes over the mantle of Falcon when Falcon takes over the mantle as Captain America. As Captain, because he gets powers from the Power Broker, which give him wings. So I'm curious where that's going to go.
Yeah, so let me ask you, is this Power Broker that from the comics the same Power Broker that they're talking about in the...
That's the thing, is we don't know. We haven't said yet.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's what we're leading.
Because, oh my word, what if it's... Well, no, they wouldn't be. But I was going to say, what if it's Wanda?
No.
This does
What would it be? Yeah.
This does take place 5 months after WandaVision, so that's just something to keep in mind when you're
Okay.
watching it, which is interesting.
Okay.
So those events have already happened.
All right.
John Walker was actually in the comics a Super Patriot, aka U.S. agent.
Yeah. I really like him, to be honest.
I do as well.
like his character.
I like his character a lot. I feel like you are seeing his character really struggling to be a good captain.
Yeah.
Like he's not a jerk.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he can come across as mean. He can come across as rude, but he's military. You got to understand that's how the military talks. I mean,
yeah. His situation, yeah, I completely agree. I like him a lot as a villain. He's a wonderful villain.
yeah.
And this is exactly the type of person we need for U.S. Agent as the mistake Captain America, which
Mhm.
is what this is turning into. It seems like, which is
Yeah.
amazing and a wonderful story. But we did do episode 1, so I kind of wanted to brush on episode 2 because there's a lot of really cool stuff in episode 2. I just want to bring up real quick.
Is anyone though a little bit annoyed with the obvious yin and yang of Falcon and Winter Soldier and Captain America and Star Shooting Star, whatever his name
Oh,
was?
what was it? Starburst, Star
Battlestar?
something.
Yeah,
Battlestar. There we go.
Battlestar.
Battlestar.
I don't know who you're talking about at first. No, that's on purpose.
Yeah, but I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't like things that are obviously smacked in my face, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just like, well, they're obviously going to be the bad guys because they're the yin
But I don't
yang.
even think
Like,
they're bad guys.
They're not bad guys. I do say the villain, but more loosely in the sense of the villain for the show.
fair enough.
He's not a villain or a bad guy. He's trying to be right. He's just making some really bad decisions.
He's
Yeah.
not the protagonist, right, of the show because you have the two
Yeah.
guys in the title, right? But he
Mhm.
does get in their way, so he's more. But they're they have the same mission. They just have two very different ways of going at it, which is why I like
Of
that
executing it.
contrast. And they're they're the foils of each other.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted Falcon to be his own thing, I guess, and I was a little disappointed that Winter Soldier was so
Predominant.
predominant.
I don't know. I felt it worked out well because I feel like they are an odd couple. If you don't,
Yeah,
they worked well in that facet. Basically both friends of the same person, but not friends together.
Is Falcon a free contractor now?
It seemed like he works for the government, but it's more loose. So I guess it's like a free contractor. Didn't really explain it very deeply.
because remember he was
Yeah, 'cause-
surprised about them spying on his tech.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's not. He is a free
But he
agent.
he also knew it was military technology as well.
Yeah, but so like what's surprising to me is like how I don't know, I felt like how Bucky just inserted himself was kind of just like comical.
Yeah.
Because it was like that's not how military protocol works, buddy.
Well, that's it's
Just
not
jumps off
military,
the
yeah,
plane.
yeah. But I think they both have. Well, it seemed like Bucky, from what they were discussing, that he basically can't do anything on his own. He's like in some sort of weird
Okay.
half
Probation.
imprisonment, probationary period, which is what they bring up later on when he doesn't go to see his appointment, and so they make a big deal about it.
Yeah, which I hated
and
that
so-
part. It was so slow.
It was slow, but it was. But yeah, but so I think they didn't mind him going with them because at least they
It
could keep an
kept
eye
eyes
on
on him.
him, and
Yeah.
so it wasn't that big of a deal.
All right, fair enough. That makes sense.
Just theories at that point. For the second episode, I really loved the when they went and visited Isaiah Bradley. That was
Oh yeah,
probably my favorite
It's an interesting plot
point in that episode. Not only for that plot point, but the way they touched upon even things that are going on right now and has been going on. I was actually surprised Disney would go that far.
yeah.
Isaiah Bradley was the Black Captain America from the comics, and also I really liked how they touched upon because in I think it was the Vietnam War where they actually tested on African Americans more predominantly than whites that volunteered as well. It was a common practice for a long time. So this makes complete sense that they tied that with that situation.
But you know what I liked about that? What I liked about that was that, and especially like you said, Alan, with what's been going on, what I liked about that is that Captain America was a weapon, but at the same time, he was still a soldier. He was a great person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I loved how they portrayed this guy as he was nothing more than a lab rat, though.
Yeah.
Like they just did experiments on him.
So, yeah, exactly.
I liked that.
I did as well. And another thing to point out, and I don't remember, I forgot the kid's name, but I did look up his name, and his son is actually one of the more current Captain Americas. Not current. He's actually there was a younger Avengers team with a Captain America and a Iron Man, and actually Miss Marvel joins them for a while. and he's actually the Captain America in that squad who is actually addicted to juicing himself up to get to that potential because he doesn't actually have superhuman abilities like his, because he's not jealous of his grandfather, but he is upset that his grandfather had these abilities and he doesn't, and he actually attempts to juice up to get to that point. And it's actually part of his character development. It's interesting that they brought him into it, and I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I doubt it, but it's interesting that he was there.
Yeah, they do leave it there open for that
Yeah.
potential, which is smart. I will say that I like that scene, but part of me doesn't want to be reminded of real life when I watch these kind of shows, to be honest. And I don't think, I mean, you got to have real issues in these. You got to have the drama for sure. But part of me just wants it to be so fantastical that it's separated, right? I watch these shows to escape. So not a big deal, but there's part of it that's like, okay, like I just read the news. I get it, you know, so.
And I understand that, Kyle, and I do feel like, though, that's one of the reasons that Marvel has gripped people more than DC, though. Because Marvel has made their things real. They've put them in real life, real cities, real places. DC has some real cities and stuff like that, which is why it gets so confusing. But at the same time, it's separate from the real world. Whereas Marvel goes, no, we're part of the real world. Like, so I understand what you're saying, Kyle, but I feel like this is something that Marvel's known for and what they do.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I think I'm getting a little tired of it.
Yeah, I feel you though.
It is overwhelming. In this current climate, it is definitely overwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. You know what they did get right, though, was the blip, right? So I feel like we're currently in a blip with the pandemic, because it feels like that we're going to be talking about pre and post for a while now, and that's, you know, whenever they say that, I'm like, oh, okay, I can feel that a little bit.
And this is where this show does well. I was going to talk about the time with the cop and everything at the end, but we'll leave that alone for now. But I think this show in particular versus WandaVision really shows the benefits of Thanos' snap. And while it was cruel and it shouldn't have been done, at the same time, when they've described what it was like during the blip for everybody who was left behind, countries were opening their borders. People who normally wouldn't have access to better education and jobs were getting it because there was less people. Life was better, even though there was a lot of misery attached to it. The living situation for the new civilization had gotten to the point where it didn't matter as much of your pedigree as it did before. And then as soon as these people came back, they talked about how because the housing situation also got better, so it was easier to get a home, and these people lost their homes because the people came back. So it was interesting, different side of the blip.
And it's actually a very interesting thing, especially for someone, i.e. me, a historian. One of the things about history that I find fascinating is the interaction of people across borders. I personally do not believe that we should have open borders. I believe that borders should be they should be instated, they should be maintained, and they should be kept in place.
Regulated.
But regulated. But at the same time, it cannot be impossible to gain access, and it's one of the problems that many great empires have faced, and one of the problems that the US has come to face. But the thing is it does show how such a catastrophic event like that can really make all your ideas, all your beliefs, all your principles kind of just get thrown out the window. And then what do you do when 5 years later all that tries to get reinstated?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And it's really interesting because you have Winter Soldier didn't get blipped, did he?
No.
So
yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He did blip as well. Okay. Well, anyways, but it was very interesting to see. It was very interesting to see Falcon living in this situation of being someone who has come back from basically not being there for 5 years, and then all of a sudden is there, and now has to live with that. The first episode again kind of brushes on that when he tries to get a loan from the bank because he hasn't had employment for 5 years, and so
Yeah.
he doesn't have any, so he has no records to really help him get a loan. Not only other things as well, I'm sure, but moving forward, the third episode is when we start talking to Zemo,
Baron Zemo.
and that episode was I really like that episode. It didn't feel as super deep as the ones preceding it, but it was still like a super interesting like spy espionage. It was like a whole new episode. It felt like almost a different show when there's weird dark gangster city like Pirates Cove, and they're like it's just really fun. Weird. Yeah, I liked it.
So what's her name? The woman on
Aaron Carter?
Sharon.
No.
Yeah. Sharon
Carter. Yeah. There we go.
So she's Mockingbird, isn't she?
I don't even know. To be honest.
Like, because
she becomes Mockingbird, you mean?
Well, Mockingbird was a SHIELD agent, kind of like Black Widow. They were both like really good at, at espionage and stuff like that. But Mockingbird was really good at like impersonating people and stuff like that. And
maybe she's been in the Captain America movies for a while.
Yeah.
But I really liked how she explained how basically because she wasn't an Avenger, it wasn't all forgiven. It was just like they forgot about her, and so she just had to figure it out. And I was like, yeah, of course. Even though you helped them, it didn't matter because half of them got blipped anyways. So the people that were left were way too preoccupied with other things, and it's not fair for you though, who got stuck. I mean, obviously she did well for herself, but she shouldn't have had to.
Yeah, I'm glad they brought her back into it. Maybe they will update her story as it continues.
Maybe I keep thinking that she's Mockingbird for some reason, but
I don't know. Maybe
they haven't ever outright said it.
But then I thought that was really interesting how he killed that the scientist who was making the super soldier serum. Like just out of nowhere, it just goes to show, which is why I kind of like Zemo in a weird way because he hates super soldiers. And I get it.
Zemo has a moral code though, and he's not going to stray from it, and that's what I like. Yeah, that's what I like is he might not be on the same page as everyone else, but what page he's on.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean?
But that's also bugged me because they were so lax about working with him. I was he's just going to start shooting people, and he did. In that instance,
exactly.
And I agree with you in that, Kyle. Like, there was a lot of me in that episode that I was like, man, they really are just glossing over the fact of what he did.
Right.
And at that point, for me, it was like, I guess this is show's got to show. Because, I'm with you, Kyle. I feel like they were just like way too lenient.
I will say, while they were probably too lenient, they're also trying to get him to work for them, and they really had no other option.
Right? Yeah,
like that was like, they didn't have any support.
But the way they handled it was surprising to me. Right? I love.
They probably could have been a bit more strict with them. Yeah,
and I love the interaction. It was a great episode. It just part of me was like, come on. You guys have been through. You literally did this with him before.
You know what he's capable.
You've done this before, yeah. Fool me once, yeah. It's just like
now he's gone, right? Like as of episode 4, he's
been taken away.
No, he escaped.
He escaped. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
During the combat with the
during the fight, he got away. That's right. I was gonna say this though, also about having Baron Zemo. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like him, like. Added on, I was like, man, we're getting too many characters here. You know what I mean?
Same here.
But then when he got added in, I was kind of like, all right, they're actually working off each other really well. The banter is working here. I like this, So as apprehensive as I was, I am really enjoying it. And I'm also just really enjoying this season because it's more my pace. I like war action type movies, and this is definitely right up my alley.
That's good.
Yeah, and I really enjoy that. And so this kind of pulls me back to Captain America's Shield, where they seem to try to take it, but they decide against it, and this is where I kind of bring back the fact that it looks different,
Okay.
everything else. And my reasoning for this, and maybe this could go nowhere. Let's put on our tinfoil hats here. But because it is no longer, and this is I'm thinking, theorizing, it may not be a vibranium shield anymore.
Mm.
I'm wondering if it is the original composition of his shield, which was adamantium.
I'm actually wondering that now too, Alan, because you've seen it get stuck in walls multiple times.
So I'm starting to wonder. We keep getting these weird hints at the X-Men, and they
But adamantium is so heavy.
yeah.
How is he throwing it around?
It's still light enough, dude. They made it thin on purpose. And
Yeah.
he's like the top soldier of all time.
And he's struggling with it too. If you see him before you can tell it's a hefty throw. It's not an easy thing.
Although I will say too, a lot of his action for a while there, I was convinced that he was actually already juiced. Like I was convinced that he already had the
I
serum.
thought about that until obviously episode 4. Yeah, I did keep going back to it in my head, like maybe they're already juiced. Like maybe this is like I thought maybe both of them were already juiced and they were kind of playing it off.
Yeah.
Because they were a little more durable than normal people, but they're also main characters in the show, so they can probably do more things. But anyways, yeah. So it's an out of nowhere thought for the Shield, but it would be interesting if that's what really. Like I said, the website apparently had some more hints to Mystique and stuff that were apparently stripped from the website. So more X-Men stuff,
Dude,
finding its way.
you got the conspiracy theory wall up and running, and I love it.
I mean, it would be interesting because it's true. I have seen him bounce the shield, but I have also seen this shield seem to get stuck in more walls.
Did you notice that when not only when Isaiah threw that thing and it got stuck in the wall, right? And as soon as John Walker seemed to get the power, when he threw it at walls, it went in the wall. It stopped reflecting off the wall. I'm starting to wonder if maybe it's something to do with Captain America himself or something. I don't know. Or he just didn't understand the power he had as much.
Yeah.
Being able to bounce it off stuff. It's interesting.
But how did you like how that 4th episode kind of wrapped up?
I loved it because this gets to a lot of things that I was worried. I've been worried for a while that this Marvel series, any of them will not cross, and it ended very, very dark to the point where there was actually a small bit of uproar from what I've been hearing of people being a little upset about how dark it got towards the end.
Really?
He did that, and you had the blood on the shield. I actually felt it was very, it was done very well in the sense where it explained everything, but also really did let things happen off scene that the audience doesn't need to see, but they know what's happening.
Yeah, because when he lifted that shield, man, I was like, he's gonna decapitate him.
Yeah.
He's losing his head. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, and we don't know, but that's the point, and that's good. We don't need to know.
You don't need to know, but you can see the blood on the shield, and he went too far.
Right, because the shield they've outright said it. It's the symbol of it, right? And it's just like now there's blood on that symbol, blood on the hands of everybody attached to it. Falcon and Winter Soldier are attached to it. It's all a bloody mess. See what I did there?
Yeah. Me personally, and this was what I wanted to ask you guys in the soapbox, but I wanted to save it for here, was first off, if you were given the chance to take the serum, would you? And if you had, and you were in that situation, do you think you could have stopped yourself?
No and no.
No,
There's two
and
questions
I think
there.
Yeah.
So this is where it kind of goes a little earlier that Winter Soldier says he's unstable. He's basically crazy because I would know because I'm crazy, essentially. And I honestly, personally, don't think I would do that in that type of situation personally, but I could be wrong. I'm not in that situation. And I think it was overkill. And I think somebody who was trained as well as he was supposedly trained, he should have been able to prevent what happened. Yes, it was severe. And yes, uh, any normal person would feel terrible because it happened. But I think he he should have been trained to not do what he did. Now, that doesn't mean that the superhero syndrome did not affect his head. It could have,
Yeah.
very much so. So
Yeah, but they
yeah,
were also, I mean, they
Yeah.
built it up a little bit with the story of like he wants to do good, but at the same time he feels really guilty about not
hmm
being able to do more, and he obviously
Hmm.
snapped. Now, regardless of serum or not, like that was the last straw, you know. And they're playing it up a little bit that the serum adds to that insanity. But yeah, like to answer your question, Tomas, no, I wouldn't take it, the serum, because it's tempting, but it's too much,
Hmm.
right? You see what happened with what's his face with Winter Soldier. But no, if I did end up taking it, I wouldn't be able to stop in that instance,
Yeah.
right? Like if that was the last straw.
For me, I like to think like I am that moral enough person that if I took this, I think I could control myself. But I believe that's exactly why I shouldn't take it. Because I feel like I could control it.
Yeah, and you don't know,
You
right? You
know?
don't know until you do take
Yeah.
it.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think it was overkill. I watched with my whole family, and it was very interesting seeing the reactions on everybody on the couch as we watched it. It was just wow. Yeah, I was impressed.
Kind of saw it come that part, all that coming.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming that far. Like I knew something was probably going to happen, but not like that. So I'm
Yeah.
Hmm.
curious. So
I don't doubt that it was overkill, and I agree with you that it was. But I also see like what Kyle was saying because he was talking to his friend about like
Yeah.
think about how much more good we could have done
yeah,
if we were able, and it's like you're right, man. What if that was just the last straw for him?
The one that where I caught it was when they realized that Falcon and Winter Soldier had broken Zemo out, and so then he said, "Well, we
Hmm.
got to do stuff that isn't,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not within the rules either." And I was like, "Oh, so he's going to go? He's already crossed the line." That's when I knew.
hmm
But I also do love the way that they set it up. Was first he fights the Doja Mirage or whatever their name is from
The
Black
Wakandans,
Panther,
yeah.
Yeah, the Wakandans, and they whoop his butt. And I remember he tells his buddy,
Oh
he
yeah,
was like, they weren't even super
yeah,
soldiers.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And so I can see how from that to his friend dying, and he now has the serum, I feel like
yeah.
there was no other way for him to
I
go.
was
Like,
when we were watching. I was talking to my wife about it, and it was you could feel that I'm in too deep type attitude.
mhm,
Like I went from the military and dealing with like normal people to now I'm dealing with superheroes.
right.
I'm
yeah.
in a whole new ball game now,
Yeah,
and it's completely different
it's been a
rules.
cool story with that for sure. That's why I like that character, because it's like this is way different than you think it is going to
Yeah.
be.
I love the character. I think it's very interesting. But yeah, he's a great villain. It's like I'm like mad at him, but I'm also like understanding of him. But at the same time, he needs to be put down. Not
Exactly.
killed, but taken
I
out
don't
of
think
the service
he's. You keep calling him a villain,
altogether.
though. I don't think he's a villain. I think he's
I
a conflicted hero.
I still think he's a villain because
He could become the villain.
yeah, but I feel like the difference between him and a conflicted hero, like for example, Punisher is a conflicted hero, but Punisher watched his whole family brutally executed. Yes, this guy watched his friend get killed, but he is also a soldier, and like Alan said, he's trained. Soldiers know the risks that they're taking. So I do kind of feel like he has kind of taken it a step
Well,
too
that's what I'm
far.
saying.
I can
He
see
could
how it's
become the villain
logical.
now, but up to this point, I don't think he was the villain.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there. Okay, yeah,
This
fair
could be the
enough.
turning
Maybe
point.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right on that. I probably was saying villain too. He's the antagonist. He was the antagonist beforehand.
Yeah.
Now I think this was the moment because you could see in his face, in his eyes, even when looking around.
Oh,
You
he's
could, yeah,
confident.
he's confident. He knows that either he's going to get away with it, or this doesn't matter, or he's thinking about his
Yeah.
next step.
Oh,
I don't.
really?
I don't. Yeah, I did it. I didn't get any shame from his looks, but
Yeah.
is it because if I saw some shame or like maybe some come down, granted it did end like right after that, so
Yeah,
who knows?
you guys got a
Uh,
lot out of that. I
yeah,
didn't
I
catch all that.
could be reading too deep, but that's what I was getting out of it.
Yeah, what I got was a lot of what Alan got though, because at the end of it, he's looking around at all the people taking pictures at him and stuff, and I saw the same face that I saw on Wanda as she was walking into that town, and
Oh
everyone was
yeah.
looking at her. That what are you gonna do about it?
Oh, I see. I mean, I saw it differently. That he realized what had happened,
Hmm.
but I thought it was all up in the air. Like it could go either way. Because either way, he's
Okay.
done, right? Like that's the point. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, either he's either going to be moved somewhere, if he's going to be anything like U.S. agent, and that's the one thing is U.S. agent also used a gun, which this guy constantly uses a gun. Where Captain America did use a gun in World
Oh
War
yeah.
II,
right? Yeah,
he actually stopped using one almost
Yeah.
entirely from then henceforth,
yeah.
and so he's been using a gun the entire time, and that was one of the first things I saw and actually pointed at my TV when he popped up is he's got a gun in his
I
holster.
just imagine
That's
you as the
weird.
Leonardo DiCaprio meme right now, pointing.
Yeah,
I
I could see
I see
that.
it. Do you guys see the gun?
But yeah, so I'm excited. I love this character, and I really want to see what more happens to him. And I hope you're right in a sense, Kyle. And he does. You didn't say this exactly, but I really hope that he does redeem himself in a
Yeah,
way. And actually,
I do too.
I really felt I actually felt he could have been a good Captain America. I felt that he was
Yeah.
trying, and every time John Walker was with Falcon and Winter Soldier, I felt bad for him because of how little faith they were giving into him. He was willing to take that mantle. He was willing to put in
Yeah,
the work, and
Hmm.
Falcon wasn't. And so that should have said something.
yeah,
Like,
Yep.
yeah. That's a good point.
and it didn't.
I agree with you. Their shunning of him definitely didn't help anything.
Yeah.
If they had just embraced him and been like, you know what, I wasn't willing to take that responsibility, but you were,
Yeah, see,
it may have been a whole different thing.
yeah. I guess that was the big point was that they were mad about the shield, but
Yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't believe it. And maybe that was with the writing or maybe the acting. I didn't believe that. Like if they were that desperate, they should have just used that guy instead of Zemo. In my opinion, that was like he's
Yeah.
the logical better
That would have.
choice.
He wanted to work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, anyways, they're in the pickle now, and we haven't talked about the who I thought was the real villain, which was Infus Nest from the Han Solo movie. It's the same actress
Yeah.
and the
Oh
same
yeah. We didn't
character.
even talk about the Flag Smashers that much.
Pacey.
Surprisingly, even though they're really the
They
villains,
are, yeah,
or really
and I'm kind of mad that they're. And I was hoping it wouldn't turn
Here's
out this way, but they were like, "Oh, they're the conflicted villains because the da da da," and it's like, ah. But then she killed those people and was like, "Oh, you crossed the
yeah.
line."
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
they lost their sympathy for me. At first I was kind of like, yeah, you guys are trying to fight for something, you're really trying to support something. But if they had instead just used their power to overpower those guards and take the stuff and then walked away, then I would still be like, yeah, you guys are fighting for the right thing. But when they took everything, walked away, and then just blew it up, I was kind of like, well,
Yeah.
now you're not
Oopsie.
really
This is
being freedom fighters.
there was something, and I know this is going to go off the track here. Did you guys see the X?
No.
There's
No.
I pointed it out to my wife so much. You could use the Leonardo DiCaprio me for this one because I was like pointing at it. Like you can see that there's a freaking X right there. It was a blue picture with a I think it was a red X. Like it looked
Where?
spit image. There's a moment where they're going up to that building and there's a gate in front of it. It's on the gate.
Uh-huh.
It's really weird,
Like a
and I
painted
saw
one?
it like a couple times. No, it was like a sign put on the gate,
Oh,
and I was
Okay.
like, the site was used for something else, but I pointed out, I was like, did you guys see that? There's an X there. That's really weird. And I was like, and I was waiting for it to come back, and it took a bit. And I was like, when it came, I was like, look, there's an X. That is like a weird X. Why is that X there?
That is interesting.
Maybe I'm looking too
Nice
deep, and I'm
catch,
just seeing
dude.
X's now.
yeah. This is
But
why we keep you
But
around.
maybe you're right too.
You find all that stuff. I dude, yeah. It goes past me so fast.
Yeah, it was quick, but they showed it a couple times, and I don't know why I was there. I don't know why I was there, but it was very blatant.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to, yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I love this show. Does have a lot of great characters, and that's what you guys are getting at. Nobody is really good nor bad except for like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and even they're both gray. Because even look at
Yeah.
Winter
Oh, I
Soldier;
see.
he
Yeah,
has a
yeah.
very past,
I thought you were
and
talking
so
about like the
everybody
acting
seems.
skill.
Oh no, no, no! It just seems like nobody seems to be like the good guy except maybe Falcon. Like that's the only person I could see that like he's maybe
Right.
the good guy.
And even if Falcon is the good guy, he's a little too naive, like I said earlier.
No, yeah, he's definitely naive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I was just commenting on the actress who plays
yeah,
she played that same antagonist in the Solo movie and was almost
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
exact character of like leading a
Right, she
rebellion.
was like a freedom
Yeah,
fighter
and
in
then turned
that.
out to be a
Yeah.
good guy kind of deal thing. Is like, yeah.
Yeah, I kept seeing a bunch of people getting excited about her being the main character from Horizon. Like if they ever did a Horizon film.
Hmm.
Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah, because
That
I
would be
guess she
cool.
looks very similar to
He does
her.
look like
Uh,
Aloy.
I don't know. That's just out of nowhere, but I kept seeing it because she's fairly new and upcoming
Yeah.
to the big stuff. So we might see more of her. Who knows? She's doing a great job. She's playing a good
Hmm.
character,
It's
so I
that
don't mind
hair,
watching it.
man.
Yeah,
That hair is
Yeah.
like you can't miss it.
it's definitely interesting features,
Like, why
and
are you
it's
wearing that
noticeable.
mask? We know who you are. You got-
It's true. It really is true. Like out of all of them, like you can catch her right there.
Yeah.
What is she
But I
doing?
did notice, like, I was kind of joking about that. Like, that's I don't think they're hiding their face so much as that they're turning that persona on.
Yeah, turn the persona
Hmm.
on. Also, like basically letting you know that they're all together. Because
Yeah,
other than that mask, they don't. You can't tell. But as soon as they have that mask, and you know there's a unit. There's something happening here, and I think that's what it is, and more of an intimidation factor. Um,
right. Yep, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
but it is great. I'm loving this show. Actually would. I don't know. I hate saying if it's better or worse than WandaVision, but
Well, I'll
we'll
say
see
it.
what
Mm,
the end is.
I mean, it's
What?
not over, but
It's not over.
I'll
That's the
say
thing. Yeah, that's a
we
big
know what
point.
you say.
it's better.
You enjoy it more. I enjoyed WandaVision more because I like the more like paranormal, weird
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff like that personally. This is just a whole different show, though. But yeah, if I
Yeah.
had to choose, who knows? There's 2 more episodes, so who knows? Could be fantastic.
Who knows? Who knows?
What's so wonderful about this universe so far is that each show is so drastically different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now looking back, one of the biggest issues I had with the Marvel shows and the CW shows, while the Marvel shows I feel were better, the ones on Netflix, they very much kept the same tone for each show.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only one that strayed is the one that people hate the most, and I think it was
Iron Fist.
the Iron Fist. Yeah, I think Iron Fist is the only one. Went a
Yeah.
little bit more comedy or something.
I actually couldn't finish the whole second
Yeah.
season.
But CW, every show is the same. Like it feels like it's like almost exactly the same. The only one that's a little darker is Arrow, but the rest of them are they have the same feel. And this one, like each one feels completely different so far. There's only the second one, but so far. But the Loki one looks like it's going to feel completely different as well.
Now we understand why they canceled those Netflix shows because they were planning ahead. They're like, no, we're going to make it all tied together, and we're going to make it better.
What's funny is that I remember I didn't watch all the Marvel ones on Netflix, and I wish I did. But I know in I think it was Daredevil they had didn't they have some ties? They attempted to have some ties with the MCU.
There was like some talk about trying to tie in certain episodes, and I think it was on the Defenders season.
Mm-hmm.
They were
No,
gonna try and
I didn't
tie
watch
in
the
some
Defenders,
things.
but it was one of the Daredevil. I swear it was one of the Daredevil seasons. They actually had a discussion with Kingpin, and they on like I swear it was like in a building that was being built. And they talked about the events, like vaguely. They basically said like there was like a huge event, and it destroyed a lot of the city. It was something very vague, but I always thought that it was connected, but apparently it's not connected at all.
I'm glad it's
No,
not because,
Yeah, because then you feel you need to go watch
well,
it.
yeah, which I wouldn't mind that, but it's just like quality control. You know, like when
Yeah.
you try to force it, like we saw what happened when DC tried to kind of be like, oh, wait, we need to make the Justice League. You know, we saw what happened when things can go wrong and you force it.
Yeah.
Instead of just say, let's just reboot it all and do it the way we want to.
Yeah.
And now we get this.
It's smarter because that's the problem with the Hulk. I mean, they bought Marvel, but Marvel, because they didn't have as much money as when they were in Disney, they had to partner up with people, and that's what the problem was with the Hulk movie. Is they partnered up with, I think, with Paramount, and Paramount owns part of the rights for that Hulk movie, and so now it's just in this weird limbo state because of that.
Disney's just got to consume it all. Just
Yeah, they can make everything perfect,
all the
everything right.
Yeah, oh boy, what a statement.
Oh god, I really don't want them to buy anything else. But I don't know. Do you guys want to say anything more? I think we covered pretty much all the bases.
Yeah, I think we kind of hit it all.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the next 2 episodes. The next cast, we'll probably talk about those next 2 episodes
for sure.
We'll be able to focus on them.
Should be right in time to finish it out, and then we'll do our review, like our scores. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, we'll do a scores for the series. Sounds good.
Cool.
Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, and we'll see you next time, hopefully. Later.
Thanks for sticking with us.
All right. Well, I guess this is goodbye and good night. So I'm going to see you guys later.
Bye.